What's up, YouTubers? It's me, Johnny. This is just a short video, kind of giving an example of what I mean. As things start getting more and more expensive in the US, I expect more and more people to move out of the United States. I just want to go over this post, and it's just persons saying, "Hi, just joined this group, looking for information how to move to Guatemala. Can't afford to live in the US anymore." And I'm just going to read a few comments. Here's one. If you're looking for a less expensive country, I wouldn't suggest Guatemala. Yes, some things are cheaper, but Mexico was cheaper overall. Cost of a whole rotisserie chicken, for example, was $5 in Mexico and $8 in Guatemala. I'd compare costs of takeout food in Guatemala equal to or more in Guatemala, not everywhere, but in many places. That's what I mean. A lot of people think Guatemala and Central America in general are cheaper than Mexico. But in general, depending on where you're at and what town, like if you're getting into smaller towns and stuff and smaller cities, it can be cheaper. But because of the way infrastructure is and a few other things, Guatemala can be a little bit more expensive. For me, it works out. I don't really spend much whether I'm in Mexico or in Guatemala. Here's another good thing or good answer. They talk about Numbio. Numbio is what I found one of the best places to get information on what things cost, like in whatever country you want to move to. It's actually pretty accurate. And here's another comment. We find it very cheap here, but that depends on where you want to be in your level of luxury. That's another good point. If you want more luxury at a lower price, in my experience, Mexico can beat that out, but it's partly because there's a lot more luxury products to buy. Just as a generalization, a lot of things cost about double what they'll cost in Mexico. Well, except for rents. And here's some more comments. Here's one that says, I could not afford to live in the US, but I live here comfortably. Maybe having a super cheap is not what you're looking for. You can be more specific about your needs and expenses. You will find good information on this page. Here's a comment. Ecuador is cheap. Ecuador is cheap, but the government policies are making it harder and harder to do business there if you're looking to start a business. I'm more entrepreneurial. I look at opportunities to live, work, including starting a business, and then also to play. Like, can you do it all in one country? Can you do it in different regions of that country? And then in the surrounding countries, can you run a business there, or would you want to? Is it easy to get to? Are there things in the surrounding countries you can do too? So that's why I look at regions more. But Ecuador is okay, but some of the government policies specifically towards gringos, like their specific 17% tax you have to pay if you become a resident. Now, if you're just living there on a tourist visa, it doesn't really matter. I don't think that would apply to a education visa, but I want to be careful. I'm not sure. But when you get the regular visa to live there, you have to list or put down what your income is. And some people put down higher than what it is. Some people put it lower in the past. You can get caught up in that because before they put that 17% tax in, you didn't have to pay any special tax. But now you have to pay that healthcare tax, which my understanding is 17%. If I am wrong, leave it in the comments, or if they changed it. But it's not just that specific tax. More and more foreigners are being scapegoated in Ecuador, so I just want to put that in there. I would say, just as a generalization, Colombia might, well, for me specifically, everyone's unique and different on what they're looking for. I would just say, in general, Colombia might be a better alternative for some people. Colombia, Paraguay, let me think, maybe Bolivia, depending on which part. There's a part of Bolivia with this, much like Southern California. The cost of living used to be cheap, but then the cartels kind of went in and bid up real estate, so it's not as cheap as it used to be. But for Americans, it still would be fairly cheap if you're renting property. Now, this place in Bolivia, it's in southern Bolivia, but I can't remember what the town is, but the reason gringos go there, or some gringos I'll say, is because it's a climate much like California. And if you want a climate like California, you could move to Argentina, Bolivia, Chile. But again, Chile and Argentina sometimes have policies now where it can be difficult to live there and run a business or live there and access your offshore income. Not impossible, just difficult or more of a hassle. Here's a comment that's actually pretty good. If you're coming from California or New York, then you'll find it much more affordable. Totally agree. But what's interesting about some of these comments is people coming from California. There's a lot of people coming from California, and a lot of people from California are moving to lower cost and lower tax states in the United States, specifically Texas and California, or pardon me, Texas and Florida. Here's a comment. Note, Guatemala will eventually get too expensive too, so consider your long-range plan. Yeah, that's why I suggest people have plan Bs, and also too, don't stay permanently retired unless that's what you enjoy. Have a business or some kind of online income you enjoy doing, and keep stacking those dollars. Here's one that says, is only cheaper if you're earning a U.S. salary, but if you're planning to live here and earn, then things can get even worse. If you have a business or retirement distributions, then I guess it's not a bad option. I agree with that, but I even know people here who work here. Now they don't get local wages. It's a little higher, but still it's not bad. So I guess it depends what you want. You would come here or Mexico or anywhere in Latin America if you want a simpler life at a lower cost with a lot less tax and a lot less regulatory hassle. Here's one. I wouldn't pick Guatemala ATM. I'm not sure what that means. I hear that a lot nowadays. It's the hardest in Central America to get residency. This is true. Ever since 2018, they've changed it so basically you have to have a traditional type pension. They do have the investor visa, which allegedly is $100,000 to invest. I'm not sure if that's totally accurate, but other than that, there's not too many visa options. So it used to be really easy. Now that's changed. Here's a comment that says, really? Must have changed a lot in recent years. I got residency there years ago. That's true. It was easy, but not anymore. Here's another kind of a comment. Do-over? I thought there was just an annual fee. Although I still got my residency card. I've paid the fees. I'm all caught up. See, I'm lucky because I don't fall in any category where I have to do proof of income. That's why I suggested in 2018, pre-2018, people do it, because at that time you didn't have to offer any proof of income, and there's very few countries in the world where you can gain residency, permanent residency, without having to prove any visible income. That's one of the advantages of Paraguay still. And one of the previous advantages of Guatemala is you didn't have any proof of income. And I was grandfathered in, I guess, because every time I go in to pay the yearly fees, they never asked me for proof of income. So, but one thing they did add is they want to know my new address. So that's kind of changed. In the past, you could use your lawyer's address, but anyways, we worked something out, so I got another address that's not really my own, so that's not a big deal either. Yeah, this is a good point. You can get it pretty easy if you're married, but if you're not married, it's very difficult, or have a pension. Anyways, that's it for now. Not too much. I just want to point out how my opinion is more and more Americans are going to move to low-cost areas within the U.S., and more Americans and Canadians and Europeans are going to move out of their countries into Latin America, into Asia, maybe Eastern Europe, because it's getting more and more expensive. And I don't really see the central bank of the U.S. raising interest rates much. Some people do. The EC or the ECB said they're not going to. So what that means is the governments are going to keep printing and printing more money. The cost of living is going to continually spiraling going up. That's going to impoverish people who don't have any assets or have very little assets or no income or very little income. So they won't be able to live in their countries of birth. Until policies like that change, I don't see this trend changing. So if you're looking to start a business helping people relocate to Latin America or other countries, there's like a lot. There's like a lot. Some are okay, some aren't. Some are expensive, some aren't. The thing I don't like is some of them, they do charge you a lot of money for information that's not exactly accurate. That's only my beef. And if you want to charge a lot of money, you should have more accurate information and a lot of stuff. But it depends what you're really looking for. Some people just like to pay money just to talk about it, get some ideas, and they're not really looking for too specific. But some of them, they can charge you a lot of money, and they tend to use fear tactics to get you to do things that you don't really need to do, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, I think this trend of people moving to other countries is going to continue. I don't really see long-term governments changing their policies to incentivize people to stay in their countries. So I see more and more Latin American countries and some Asian countries putting in more and more incentives to live there and work there and start businesses. So anyways, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great day wherever you are in the world.